So for today, we're going to learn about the microscope. We're on page 392 in your textbook, and we're going to look at the different parts. So we have a number of parts here, and the first part is called the eyepiece. And what do you think the eyepiece is used for? Somebody tell us. What is the eyepiece used for? Daniel.
It's used for viewing and contains a lens that magnifies.
That's right. So the eyepiece is this part right here. And that's the part you look through, and it magnifies the image that you see. Does anybody know how many times it magnifies things? Manik.
400.
Not 400. No, the eyepiece itself. Does it say on there? Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. So the eyepiece actually magnifies things 10 times. Okay, so anything you see with the eyepiece is going to be 10 times larger than it normally would be. Make sense? Okay. All right, next is the tube. And the tube is this part here that connects the eyepiece to the other lenses, and it basically just brings the light down to the other lenses. Okay? Next is the arm. What's the arm? What's that, Amber? It's the part that supports the eyepiece, and it's this part here that connects the tube to the base of the microscope. You can also use it as a handle. You can hold on to it when you're carrying the microscope. Okay, next, the coarse adjustment knob. What's the coarse adjustment knob? What's that, Maya?
It brings an object into focus at lower medium power.
Yeah, so it's the part that would bring the object into focus. So if I'm going to look through the eyepiece, I'm going to adjust the coarse adjustment knobs to focus the microscope. Okay, good. Next, the fine adjustment. What's the fine adjustment? What's that one? Jaskrat?
Brings an object into focus at higher power.
Yeah, so it's going to bring things into focus if you're using one of the higher power lenses. We'll talk about those in a second, but it's right here. It's called the fine adjustment knob, and it just fine-tunes your focus. It's very, very small amount of focus. Okay? And next is the objective lenses. What are the objective lenses? What are those? What are those? Daniel?
It magnifies the image. Most microscopes have 3 or 4 lenses.
That's right. So it magnifies the image, and there's usually 3 or 4. Ours have, how many lenses do you see on ours?
3.
3. There are 3 lenses here, and there's one that's got a red writing on it, and it is called the low power. I'm going to take it out here so you can kind of see it. So on the low power objective, there are some different numbers and letters. The first letters say DIN4, and then there's a decimal, 0.10. We're looking at the whole numbers in order to understand what the magnification is. So what numbers were whole numbers there? 0.10 or the 4? 4. So this objective lens, this low power objective lens, magnifies things 4 times. Okay? And we'd always use this lens to start with. It's the one that will put our specimen on our slide. Here's a slide. This is what they look like, everybody who's out there in the audience. Okay? For people on video, that's what they look like. And we'll put that underneath the objective lens in order to view things. You'll always start with the low power objective lens because it has the most amount of space that you can see things. It'll be easier to find things. Does that make sense? Okay. And then there's another objective lens that is that's yellow. Okay, and it's this one here. It has numbers on it. There's 0.25, and then there's DIN10. So which one's the whole number? 10, right? So the medium power objective magnifies things 10 times. And then the largest one, the high power objective lens, it magnifies things 40 times. It's got the whole number 40 on it. Okay? Now, if we look at the magnification, if the objective lens magnifies things 4 times with the low power objective, and the eyepiece magnifies things 10 times, what do you think the total magnification might be? What do you think, Manik? 40 times, yeah, because what did he do with those numbers? Did he add them or did he multiply them? Multiplied. So if you're going to figure out what the total magnification is, you multiply the two magnifications together. So 4 times 10, gives you 40 times. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good, good. All right, same with the medium power. Well, it was 10 times. The eyepiece is 10 times. What's the total magnification? 10 and 10. 100 times for the medium power. And then the high power is 40 times. Times 10?
400.
Gives you 400 times. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, good, good. So that's the different magnifications that we're going to use for our objective lenses. Now, the next part is the revolving nose piece. What's that? What's the revolving nose piece? Jeremiah?
Holds the 3 objective lenses.
Yeah, so it holds the 3 objective lenses. And actually, when you turn them on the nose piece, I'll hold it up for people at home, or not at home, to see, the people in the class. So when you turn this, objective lens on the nose piece, it'll actually click into place, okay? And you'll hear it actually click into the right place when it's right centered underneath the tube, okay? So maybe I'll hold it next to the microphone here, and we'll see if we hear it click. You guys be nice and quiet that are actually at school, and let's hear. Do you hear that clicking noise? So you hear a little click in the nose piece when you get the lens lined up properly, and you feel a little resistance as you move it. All right, next. So that's the revolving nose piece. Next is the stage. What's the stage? What's the stage? What's that, Amber?
The board slide. Some microscopes have these clips and the whole slide in place.
Yeah, so my slide fell on the floor there when I moved the microscope. But here's the slide. Luckily, it didn't break. I thought it was going to. And it'll actually go onto this stage here, and you can set it down. And then you'll use stage clips, which are these little metal clips that hold the slide in place so that it doesn't actually move. Okay? All right, next, the iris diaphragm. What's the iris diaphragm? What's that? Maya?
It controls the light, or it controls the amount of light reaching the specimen.
Yeah, so the iris diaphragm controls how much light can enter into the stage. And there's a little dial on the side that you turn that will allow more or less light to enter through from the light source at the bottom. And if I hold it up here, you can kind of see underneath maybe that it's turning, and there's a hole underneath that lets more or less light in. The higher the number, the bigger the hole, so more light will actually come in. And you see there's a little number on the side of the microscope on the little dial that is the iris diaphragm. Okay? And then the light source. What's the light source? What's that, Daniel?
Supplies the light needed to view the slide.
Right, so it supplies light that you're going to have shine through up onto the microscope slide. And you'd have to plug it in. I can't plug it in where I am right now, but you'd plug it in and then light will shine up through the little lens called the condenser lens that's on the stage. Okay, and the last one in your textbook, what's that one, Jeremiah?
Supports the entire microscope.
Yeah, so it's called the base, and the base is right at the bottom. It holds the microscope up. When you carry the microscope, you always put one hand on the arm and one hand on the base so that you can carry it properly without dropping it. The cord, when you're carrying it, should always be wrapped around the microscope so you don't trip on it or it falls or anything like that to make it difficult to carry. So we'll just hold it like that. All right, so those are the different parts of the microscope.